Rick, summer is so important for the game of basketball. Talk about how the summer went for you guys, and you've got guys back out in the gym here early, and we haven't even gotten to the basketball season yet.
Yeah, today's first day of school, and we try to give the kids a little bit of time off. But when they ask you to get in the gym, it's hard to say no. And so it's volleyball season, and it's their time to get gym, and so we had a little time to come and still a little gym time, and we let the guys get up some shots. It's a very critical piece to our success this year. In terms of summer, I thought we had a really good summer. The kids worked their tails off. We worked really, really hard. We got after a couple days a week. We got in the weight room, got a lot of shots up, and we played a lot. We played probably over 30 games this summer. We played about 5 games at IWU, Indiana Wesleyan. Played another 5 games at Earlham. Follow that up, we went over to IPFW, played 4 games there. Played another 5 games at Michigan State. We also played 4 games at Huntington, and we played another, I believe, 3 at Wabash. That, along with our varsity guys, played Monday nights in the Wayne County League at Northeastern. 2 games on Monday, and our JV kids played on Wednesday nights out there. And so we were able to give our freshmen a lot of playing time. We were able to try to evaluate and look at some kids and give some kids some opportunities to get out and play play against some good competition along the way. So I'm very proud of our kids, and I'm happy with how our summer turned out, and just looking forward to our fall camp, which will start after Labor Day, and trying to get better this year.
You know as well as anybody that if you're going to win, all the work that you put in the summer is really where it happens, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. The work is a big part of it. In the summer times, I stress to our guys, you want to try to become the best offensive basketball player that you possibly can be, whether that's improving up on your left hand dribble, your left hand finishing, whether it's passing the ball in the post, dealing with pressure, shooting runners and floaters, working on your pull-up jumper, working on your footwork, jabs, and coming up into a pull-up and stuff like that. And so our post guys, we really try to get the ball inside over the summer. Keyshawn Clemens had a great year this summer. Jordan Fry, who's really trying to become a perimeter player, he did well for us on the inside. Jacob Jones had a really good summer for us. And then we had some activity out of Brenton Thomas, who's playing football now, and Jackson Haynes got out and played a little bit with us, and so obviously we're a little limited on the front end, but at least on the front court. But the strength of our team is always going to be our back court, and I was really, really pleased with the leadership that Christian Harvey provided for our kids, and I thought we had some growth out of our sophomores, and Ricky had a great summer. I thought Kareem did a really good job. And Brandon Irvin, who's in our junior class, he and Tyjim Deloney, they really fought and got after it, and so and our freshman guys that are incoming freshman guys, Brian Dawkins, Messiah, Taylor, Tyler, who else we have in there? Anthony Stewart, Joy Clemente, Coy Baker. Those guys had played a lot of JV. A lot of programs don't get their freshmen out into it as much. Our sophomore numbers were down due to baseball and football activity, which is fine because we're all about sharing our athletes. But those that were participated this summer, they really did a good job, and they were very committed.
Coach, talk a little bit about Christian. You mentioned he had a good summer. He's starting to get the looks. He was getting looks last year for sure, but now I think there's more people taking notice of what he is able to do. Talk a little bit about that process for him right now and what it has meant so far.
Well, before our June, Christian had a phenomenal May. He played with an Indiana Elite Central team, consisting of some kids from Harrison and Lafayette Jeff, a couple of kids from Indianapolis. And then, of course, he had a great June, he got a chance to go to elite camp at Miami of Ohio, and Jack Owens liked him a lot, but they had already start moving on Mekhi Larry, the kid from Evansville. But it's always important to play on college campuses and play in front of college coaches, because if they may not have a spot or need, these guys are connected and network with a lot of different coaches. And so he left a favorable impression. He and Ricky both left a favorable impression at the Miami of Ohio Elite Camp. And then, after June, he played with, went back with the George Hill program, played with Kevin Easley, who's starting to really draw a lot of interest from a lot of schools. He has about 7 or 8 offers at the Division I level. I got a chance to watch Christian quite a bit, and he went up against a top a Louisville commit and pretty much neutralized that kid, and played against Detroit, the family team. They have a kid that's been highly regarded. UCLA's offered him, Missouri offered him, and he played really well against them. And of course, our Indy Heat team out of Fort Wayne, the Spies, he was able to play against some Division I caliber guards there, and he held his own. Got to the rim at will. Shared the ball at a very high level, defended at a high level, and he made some shots. And so the shooting piece is something going to be really critical for this next step with his recruiting process. They just want to make sure that he can make shots, make good decisions, and then of course we've got some work to do in the classroom.
Talk a little bit about Rick and his advancement as he continues to mature as a player, and certainly you've seen him physically get bigger too as well. How did his summer go?
Well, again, our whole group really got after it in the weight room. I mean, we didn't have our whole program there, but we averaged about 12 to 15 kids, if not 15 to 18 kids a day in the weight room, and introducing our young guys in the weight room. What happened with Ricky is second semester last year, we were able to put him in our strength and conditioning class with Corey Ironman, who does a fantastic job with that class, and so that kind of jump-started kind of a change in his physique. And then June, he got after it, and next part is really watching our diet, his diet, my diet. It's going to be a total family lifestyle change, of course. But I seen a level of maturity. I mean, last year he kind of looked over his shoulders in a sense of not wanting to step on seniors' toes and things like that. And when we play against the best competition, he stepped up this summer, and he was anywhere from our first or second option on most days. If not, he had his ups and downs like any other kid, but I just think he's starting to mature a little bit, and which he still has a few levels of that to go through, and not really worrying about any pressures of being a coach's son and stuff like that. And I think he'll be better this year, because it's tough to play for your dad when you've played for him in AAU and little summer league and school league and things like that, and you got to play for your dad as a varsity coach, which is a whole different beast. You do a 7-8 hour day in the classroom, and then at 4 o'clock you got to be ready to go. And varsity practices are a lot tougher than AAU practices and youth league practice. So to skip that freshman and JV level of practice, it was a moments of growth for him, but I'm very proud of him. And I think as he continues to understand the difference between coach and dad, I think he'll continue to grow. And then he'll become a better leader. And that's what we're kind of looking for. It's kind of early as a sophomore, but we need him to grow up in the leadership compartment. But I think he'll be good for us this year.